Sorry. As you can see, I'm streaming from my loft. We have gone full circle and we are back in the loft after 3.5 years using the studio. I've just decided I'm doing it from home today. I think there's like 2 other streams popped off as well, so forgive me, I'm going to probably close those down while I'm live, or I'm just at least going to start checking those while I'm live. But in the meantime, United went 2-0 up, and can I be honest, first half, played some actual good football, looked like we had some semblance of control, looked like we had some semblance of a game plan, looked like we had some semblance of quality, in all honesty. And then second half, you kind of like, have Villa changed? I mean, I'm going to try and have a look and I'm going to try and find it. But I'm thinking, have Villa changed something here? Have United changed? What? This doesn't look like the same game I was just watching 20 minutes ago. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit, what's happening here? Sort of affair, wasn't it? So you're kind of like, well, is that the players? Is that match fitness? Is that match sharpness? Because I'm going to be honest, it was preventable, wasn't it? It wasn't like the second goal involved some good play, but what we saw wasn't, oh my God, a brilliant football. United have just been overwhelmed and they might be the best team the world's ever seen. There was none of that. So much of it was individual mistakes, but it's always individual mistakes. It's never just like, well, sometimes it is, collective just completely fucking it up. It's often a little individual mistake here and there, but when you have that wealth of them and that depth of them and sheer hundreds of them to deal with and to go through, then you're like, okay, the manager's going to pay the can for this sort of thing. And as we've already kind of said, you kind of need to have, it's actually hard to know where to start pinpointing what's going right and what's going wrong. Was the substitutions correct? We've said before, haven't we? Ralph needs to come in and have an immediate impact. Ralph's got 6 months, we assume, as Manchester United manager. So what is he going to do in that 6-month time? Is he able and capable of actually turning something round? What's the crack of having him turn it round and then pass the torch on to the next guy? Where does all this work? I don't think the substitutions were correct, to be honest. I thought first half, it was good to see Bruno look like he was back to his best. It's not because he's scoring goals. I actually thought he was creating chances. And actually, from what I saw, because I was checking out heat maps and stuff like that towards the back end of the game, he played it positionally like a number 8. I want to see where he was winning challenges and where most of his passes come from. I'm going to check that in a bit. But for me, that's where it felt like Bruno was playing. He felt like he played like a proper number 8, like he'd actually just got out of the way of the box for a little bit. And then he became useful. Second half, honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know how to even begin to break down where we balls that up. Apparently Alanga was injured, some people said in the comments. I thought he had a real good showing, Alanga, and certainly putting himself in the mixer. I thought Mason at times played well, but I think he can play levels better without the ball, or with the ball for other people. I think his decision-making for other people still got a lot more work to be done, because we know how good he can be, and we know how good the chances he creates can be, and I don't think we see the best of that from Jadon Sancho at the moment. I think we're still seeing a very childish not Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood. I was trying to think of Jadon Sancho, and I've started talking about my next point before finishing that one. Jadon Sancho still looks a yard off it for me. What do you reckon that is? Kips United says, question, would you have kept Ollie at the club till the end of the season, then start afresh next season? You know, I don't advocate for sacking managers, but at the point at which we sacked Solskjaer, it felt like all hope had gone, and it did feel like a drastic change is needed. And you're not going to sack the players because they have a monetary value, so it is inevitably the manager that falls foul of that, because that's the biggest change you can do, the biggest shake-up you can actually do in a football club that actually makes financial sense. You can shake up a football club by getting rid of 12 players, but it's not financially a good idea, is it? Getting rid of one manager is a lot easier than getting rid of half a dozen or a dozen players. Amram says, Matic can't last more than 45 minutes, but who do you sub on for him? This is what I've been saying. And De Gea's distribution constantly put us under pressure. Yeah, and that as well. Matic is good, but if you can only play him 1 in 4 weeks, 1 in 3 weeks, he ain't good. You can't have that. You've got to be able to have someone that can actually perform on a consistent basis for you. Otherwise, they are a waste of a shirt and waste of an extremely high wage. So United could go and get some serious better value for money. I mean, even if you're 90% of the player that Matic is now, let alone the player that Matic was, you're still going to be available almost 100% more than he is. You know, Matic is a great player, but he can't play week in, week out. And all it does is depress us because we see what a good central midfielder's going to look like it. So it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, yeah, get your questions in. Too many wasted shirts, says David. Totally agree. Did Paddock have a match today? Yeah, we actually played Joleon Lescott, Chris Eagles, former United player, played against us. He's fucking still got it in, you know. There was a Barbados international play, a couple of other lads some lads that played for Leicester and things like that. But, you know, United had done... I'm sorry, yeah, Paddock, we lost 4-1. It was a training game. But we worked on some stuff. And I'm not asked about us. I'm pretty happy with how Paddock played today. United are the ones that are pissing me off. Scott Gacko says, bottle jobs. Why aren't I with the Paddock lads on their live? We just had a game. Harry says, should we be worried about the fact we are 15 days into the window and haven't signed anyone? Lots of rumours but no moves. Listen, I've told you what's happening. Unless there's a long-term youth target comes up, and the only one that I know of is Jude Bellingham, unless he comes up availability, and guess what? We ain't signing anyone. I think there's going to be 4 go, though. What is the point of bringing Donny and Jesse on for the last couple of minutes? Yeah, same. I don't know. Do I think Alanga has put his name in the hat for more starts? He was top today, probably the best player on the pitch. I don't know if I say best player on the pitch, but he had a good game. Yes, I definitely think he has put his name in the hat for performances now. And this is my argument for everybody that was like, oh, Donny needs a run of games, or Tony Marshall needs a run of games. Well, Anthony Alanga's just fucking boxed in there, hasn't he, and gone, I ain't played in months. Where do you want me to play? No problem, boss. That's the fucking attitude that players need to have, and that's why he's only in it. His reputation when Ralph Rangnick arrived was not that of someone who starts for Manchester United. He's made that happen himself. When I tell you that the players pick the team, this is what I'm talking about. You make yourself undeniable in training. Bosh, you're in the first team. Anthony Alanga, come on down. Well done. Bring in Garner and Mengi, says Colin Wilmot. I think they're probably going to put themselves in the shop window. That MFS says the right subs, but way too late. I could roll with that, actually. Alex Bailey says there's no point in saying this. Players needed to play and cover this player. The team is terrible. All aspects of mentality are depressing at the moment. Sick of it. We know as fans what needs to be done. Correct. Super chatting here from Alex says Tellez or Shaw, Wan-Bissaka or Delo. I currently would go with Tellez and Delo in all honesty. However, I thought the whole back line was poor today, and I don't think it would be fair to not pass comment on Varane. I know we got him at a knockdown price, but I don't think we've had our money's worth from him just yet, and I know he's been injured and lacking a little bit of match consistency, but I do not believe Varane has been as good as we expected him to be. I think that'd be fair, wouldn't it? I don't think that's going over the top and absolutely lambasting the guy. But I haven't seen what I thought I was going to see from him yet. Does anyone else agree with me on that one? Let me know in the comments. Lots of people praising Jacob Ramsey. I thought he did have a good game, to be fair to him. Daniel Kirk says, got the subs wrong. Can we take any positives? Need to keep centre-backs and Alanga. Matic got tired. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Centre-backs did all right, but like I said, I've not seen enough, and arguably I could put the second goal, certainly on a little bit on Varane. Matt G says the game today is won by fullbacks and midfield. Ours is mid-table at best. Would you finish 8th so the next gaff can get a full week on the training ground? Does 8th even do it? Where'd you end up in that Europa Conference pish? I don't think 8th even does it, mate. I think you got to get even a bit further than that one. Greenwood didn't help Delo at all today. No tracking backs as much hate. I'd agree on that. I actually would agree on that. And that's a very common thing with Mason Greenwood, I think, at the moment. Does current form make a case for Rangnick to stay another year as a coach? Feel like the team is in free fall and needs more time to hit the brakes. I think they'll make their appointment in summer. I'm pretty sure they're going to stick to that timetable. Seeing 5 players unnecessarily pressure Rodri, whereas Fred successfully gets pressured by himself. I mean, levels. What the fuck do you say to that? Yeah, I mean, you go, let's see what else we got for comments. Lots of space at right back for Villa. I thought Varane was good. James, yeah, but overall, over the entire time he's been at United for 6 weeks, Steve can sort this. Not me, I'll tell you that for free. I don't know if it's just me or sit to the back teeth of United fans as well. You can't treat Twitter like a real place, mate. Comments on there and opinions on there are not real. Alex says, I think CR7 was going to say Ralph should stay on as coach for another year, but to implement his style. Oh, maybe. Why does Greenwood pass back so often? Because he wants it sent back forward for him. Tony Marshall does the same thing. He passes it behind you so you can never keep it going and you have to give it back. Watch it. How can we create chances for Cavani? Oh, yeah. It takes up such good spaces. But where I thought United did actually show some control today, which I think was impressive and was nice for us to see for once, we did not see any real sort of sustained attacks. You know what I mean? How low could we actually get this season? We could come 6th or 7th, I reckon. I don't think we'd be much further than that. Personally blame Victor Lindelof. The second goal, miles out of position. Yes, he was. Is Gerrard a better manager than Lampard? Well, he wasn't a better player, so let's give him some. What needs to happen at the end of the season and who needs to go? Fucking anyone who wants to go needs to go. And there needs to be quality replacements brought in. We've gone through our Mikael Sylvester and Alan Smith and Kleberson and Jemba era at United. It's time to start signing the Wayne Rooneys, the new Cristiano Ronaldos, the Michael Carricks, the Evras, the Vidics. That's who United need to be bringing in and signing. 8 points off safety. How far are we off 40 points? We got 40 points. We're coming for 40 points, right? Young, hungry players. I think there's something in that first and second contract idea, you know. Not signing players that are... If you've got players that have been there for a long time, they're on the 4th or 5th contract, that's a different thing, isn't it? You need that experience and continuity in a squad. But signing players, new to the squad, 4 or 5 contracts deep, don't fucking think so. Sylvester was good, to be fair. Was he? When you had fucking Yapstam and Ronnie Johnson and you have Rio and Vidic, that's the fucking template for where we need to be. It wasn't Mikael Sylvester, was it? Come on, bro. Get Ralph up to the suits and out of the dugout, please. Let's hope he goes and does that. We need to, don't we? But we're not gonna. We need at least 2 new centre mids. I think we do need a 6 or a 6 and an 8. I would say. Alanga was a beacon of hope today. Well excited about him. Do you reckon they're? I don't think they're going to do it. But do you reckon they should bring someone like Alanga back? And Mengi's not going to come back either. He's definitely going to just be what's it in. Other fan channels are blaming tactics. Other fan channels don't fucking know tactics, mate. So they blame what they don't know, don't they? I don't think there was anything wrong necessarily with the tactics today. I think it did, certainly in the first half, allow us more control with the ball. When people are being fucking lazy and switching off, that's on the players. Now, you can make a case, potentially, that the player's tired and that's why Villa are allowed to come back into the game. Is that a fitness thing? Is that a personnel thing? Is that a match fitness thing? That could be something that you level at the management. But manager's job is to set a team up with a system that's going to enable it to create chances and to limit what the opposition can do. That's it. 2 keepers on a bench, Marshall at home, makes sense. That tells you how much of a fucking use Tony Marshall is and how much he wants to be there. You're not just going to pick someone who don't want to fucking be there, are you? Would Axel fit a team that presses? Axel, as a defender? Yeah, of course he would. He's rapid. What was Sancho doing? Not a lot, I would say. Best part of the match was Young trying to cover his bra. They're not bras, you know. You do know that, don't you? You know they're GPS vests. Rangnick thought there was extra time bringing players on 88 minutes. It's true. Matic can't play 60 minutes. Can't play 60 minutes more than once a month, man. Super chat here from Faizan, and he says, we're getting pressed and beaten when Rangnick is all about the press. Surely Rangnick should have a defensive setup against the press. Yeah, there's one thing, isn't there? There's pressing and retaining possession, regaining possession, and there's being press resistant and knowing what it's about playing into a press. What do I think about Jacob Ramsey? Should be signing him. A Liverpool fan here. Fuck a Liverpool fans doing on here? Made it abundantly clear you're not welcome. Ramsey's going to end up at a big club. He's one of those players that goes and ends up at a big club somewhere. He'll probably do a couple of years at Villa, and I actually think he probably should do a couple of years. People go and sign for the big clubs too soon. You got to break out of your mould and actually get those games under your belt, so we know what you're about. You go too early and you're going to fuck it up. Tony Marshall said he didn't want to be in the squad, so that's why I wasn't there. Honestly, do you think that United can still compete with the top four? Yes. I mean, Chelsea aren't exactly in the greatest of form, are they? Let's be real with ourselves. Shadow Fox says, why play Jadon on the left when we brought him for our right wing? One of University's mysteries. I agree with that, to be honest. However, he has successfully played on the left-hand side a hell of a lot. So it's not the craziest thing for him to do, is it? This group need a complete revamp. All the money spent in recent windows. At least 2 midfielders are still required, not getting the defence. United waste a lot of money as well, though, don't they? That's the issue. So much of the money that we do spend, you never actually really see it because it's mismanaged. Or it comes in and it goes very quickly. There's not been an effective long-term strategy plan actually see through to completion. Everybody's little project has had players that you think that are probably going to be a part of the project long term under Jose. That might have been like a Mkhitaryan or something. Go. Solskjaer, some of the players that he signed, gone. So, actually, have any of Solskjaer's gone? No, they've just been shit, haven't they? My bad, my mistake. But yeah, some of the money he's got not really fucking been spent very well, has it? Do I think that Bruno's goal would have instilled some confidence to him? Yes. Although I think his performance would mean more to him than the goal. I thought he had a good game. Righty, I'm going to wrap it up there. 5 things about in the morning. And I'll see you in the next one. If you would like a little bit of comedy after that pile of depressing shit you've just seen, we have got a behind-the-scenes video going out of what goes on in the studio. There's also a Q&A going out next week. And then we have the rundown as well, which is for Patreon members only. If you want to support the channel, you want to get some extra content, it's pretty fucking good if I say so myself. Check the link in the description. Laters.